I am presenting here the work of the checklist team for of the digital strategy working group. So this will be a little bit also a summary, but I hope that I can also, because we have so many wonderful presenters, but I hope that I can say you some, also share with you also some new information. So our aim here is to be practical and to provide you practical help for writing a digital strategy, and also to develop the methodology needed to create a digital strategy. That means we will be never able to share with you the ready checklist, because here we would like to invite you to work with us on the strategy. So what we would like to do in this team together with you, we would like to collect the relevant topics needed to be considered before writing a good strategy. And last but not at least, we would like to be more specific, and we would like to integrate the answers of the new challenges of the pandemic situation in the digital strategy as well. So what is a good strategy? I will a little bit repeat Jan, but maybe I try to formulate in a different way. So the good strategy, or a useful strategy, follows the digital trends of the 21st century. Based on this, it formulates a vision and the generic strategic goals. That means it sets also the big picture. It is individual, institution specific. That means that it takes in account the current situation of the museum, the digital readiness of the museum, the financial situation and the possibilities of the museum, the legal governmental regulations and expectations, and also it's concrete. That means it's specific. It formulates specific strategic goals broken down by areas of expertise, by actors and deadlines. I have a bad news for you. It's not possible to take over or copy the digital strategy of another museums. Everyone has to create their own. That means we could ask Maya to send us some big museum strategies, and then our work is done. It's not. I tried it out for my museums because I tried to save a little bit work. I could not really deal with the Tate's digital strategy. I had to rework it for our needs. And also we will be here not able to create a huge general template for digital strategy. But what we would like to do with you together to create a checklist. And the checklist for us, or my proposal, should start with the already mentioned general questions. That means before we delve into the details, the entry point for the digital strategy creation is to answer the following two questions for every museum. What is your vision? Do you have an end then, after the formulation of these big pictures, answer the other question as well. Do you have a time frame for your general strategic goals? Because the time frame is very, very important for us to be successful. In our work to develop the checklist, we use the thematic categories based on the comparison of the digital strategies by Maya. That was our first presentation in the second panel, and we worked with these 8 topics: collection, documentation, conservation, preservation, governance, workflow, education, exhibitions and publications, public relation, marketing, revenue, and change management. The structure of our checklist, and this is the methodological part. This is our proposal for now, because we would like to suggest something we would like to give a help to the museums. But our aim is not to write the digital strategies as a service for the museums, for our users. So what we suggest here to start the checklist with a guided section in every topics. That means we would give the name of the thematic category, and then we would like to collect questions regarding the assessment of the current situation regarding this topic. And here we have also the opportunity to link to the work of other CIDOC working groups. As you maybe know, we have here many working groups, and we are working very specific on one topic. And we see our work here, the Digital Strategy Working Group, also as a disseminator for CIDOC. That means if we discuss one topic, for example, data models, we have not the knowledge, and it's also not our job to explain what is a CRM data model. But if this problem or this topic would come up, we could link easily to our colleagues in the CIDOC working group. So let's come back to the structure of our checklist. So here on the we had this guided section, and then it's highlighted with red the other section. And here we would like to hand over the work to the users. We in the first part we asked them. We had some questions regarding the topic, and then the user should work and formulate goals, and then be more specific and find also the solution for the implementation. That means who would do this job, when, and what exactly should be done. So let's go over our categories. I would like to here show you only few questions regarding the topics, because when it will be ready, it will be a very quite long document, because some of these topics are quite complex and need a lot of questions, a lot of aspects. Now, the checklist for the collections, first, as I mentioned, we would like to find out the current situation, and we work here with inspiring questions. For example, this is Jan's favorite question. Do you collect digital artifacts, born digital objects? And as he already mentioned, it's quite important for example, for our military museums, because if you don't do that, you will miss the whole current communications of the soldiers. So nobody writes postcards, as we learned from. No soldier would write a postcard anymore. So, and now in another presentation, we heard also a very interesting comment that which would inspire me as a museum curator or specialist to review my collection strategy. Now we have this pandemic situation, and a lot of museums started to collect contemporary news, a new kind of object regarding the COVID situation, the pandemic situation. So here, after these questions, you can also formulate as a digital strategy writer your goals, and then be more specific and find a way for the implementation. If you, I would like to show also the other categories for you. For example, documentation, I mentioned, it's already a very complex part in our work. For that, we would need more questions. And here I collected for you. I would like to show you some of them. For example, do you respect international standards spectrum when documenting your objects and museum processes? Do you have a digital documentation system, collection management system? Determine the use of collection management system. Do you use it for object management? Do you use it for the management other museum processes as well? Do you use controlled vocabularies? Is your digital documentation system able to export files into the portal and other databases? Lido export. What the heck is Lido? In this point, we could link our users or our digital strategy writers to the Lido working group, and then they and in this working group they could get more deeper information. But here, the digitization, the documentation is a very complex topic. So we have, we could have other questions, plenty of questions. For example, that was also mentioned before in another presentation. Do you have a digitization strategy plan? So how to digitize your object? How was digitization taking place so far? Scanners, in-house solution, contractors, or do we have a full systematic digitization or event-based digitization, etc.? So we try to here to collect all the aspects of documentation. We need here more questions, and we would like to collect with you together if you join our group. And then this inspiring question should help the users to formulate the goals, their own goals, and to find the implementation. The same we have with conservation and preservation. You could ask here, are your files saved redundantly? Do you have an in-house solution for it, or do you work with a cloud-based system? Governance workflow, also quite complex topic. I would like to quote here only one question from our work. Do you have written documents for digital workflows? Oh, this is, if you don't have it, it will be a lot of work because we have very complex workflows in a museum. Education. This is also a very interesting topic because we have to think here inside issues and outside issues. You could ask here about inside issues, in-house issues. For example, do you organize trainings for your museum staff to develop digital competence? Is digital content development being prepared for museum education purposes? Do you have a plan to implement new digital technologies? This is something what we would like to ask in the museums. But we have museum education also for the audience. Is digital content development being prepared for museum education purposes? You could ask. Or do you offer museum education service in the digital space? And if yes, what kind of them? Exhibition and publication. The question here could be, does your collection management system support the organization of exhibitions and producing of publication? How do you license your images for digital publication? What percentage of your collection is accessible in the digital space? We have this big topic to make everything accessible. It's I would say this is a very big dream for most of us. Or do you offer 3D digital content to your to visitors or education or for education or scientist purposes? And then we have the other two topic, public relation, marketing, revenue. And here we heard from Maya already from his museums the solution. And but you can ask the users, do you have digital content that generates direct revenue for your museum? And here could we give some tips and hints. For example, online guided tours, online exhibitions, or selling of reproduction rights. And because as I remember, Maya mentioned the museum shop. And if you don't have it, you can formulate in your digital strategy as a next goal. And the change management. Here we could ask the users or inspire with our questions the users, do you have a plan to update your digital strategy regularly? Who is responsible for meeting the deadlines assigned to each strategic element? So we worked before till Kyoto, and after that only with these 8 categories. But then something happened here in our museums, and so our digital strategy was not enough anymore. So we had our life with the normal museums, exhibitions, with wonderful objects, with wonderful locations inside of the museums, and we try to support with digital strategies, digital technologies, all these wonderful museums everyday life. But now, as we heard in other presentation as well, something happened. The pandemic situation is here, and our museums is not the old anymore, and we have a situation. And here we have new challenges, and the new challenges of the pandemic situations. And I try to formulate what changed, and maybe it's a summary because we heard it already. That's a bad thing if you are the last presenter in a conference. So we had before the pandemic museums visitors, and now we have only online visitors. We had before the pandemic exhibitions, and we have now the lockdown, and we have online content. We had guided tours, and we have now online guided tours. We had museological work, and now we have the home office. So at least we in Budapest, it's difficult to get in the museum. We had collection and artifacts as a museologist, and now we have digital collection, database, and records. We had collection management, and now we have only the digital collection management. We had meetings, and now we have only online meetings. And that's we have to still solve the problem as a team leader to keep in touch with the colleagues. And we had a wonderful conference in Kyoto and in other places. And we had training sessions. And now we have this online conference here via Zoom. This is also a big difference for us. And now we would like to also reflect with our checklist. How could we build or develop further our checklist? Because something changed, and the good digital strategy is always in a work in progress, and we have to give a right answer. And I picked from this list, because this is only a few examples, only one topic, and it was already also discussed in our session. And this is the the home office. And if you think about what is the home office situation now, and what has changed in our in this eight fields. So collection, would it change? I would say not really. Maybe we have to review the collections task, because maybe we should collect also new items, the pandemic items. Yeah, but it's maybe it could be very similar to other objects. Maybe it's not a relevant change. Documentation, definitely. We need here more access. We need here everything in digital form available. And I am not sure that all the museums are ready for it. Conservation, preservation. Of course, I would like to reach all my documents from at home, also the older documents as well. Governance workflow, definitely. I had today morning a phone call with my director in the museums, and he complained that he still not have the Zoom professional version, that after 50 minutes all the meetings stopped. That means we have to work on it. We have to reorganize workflows, to give access to the communication system for everyone, for example. Education definitely has changed with home office. And I see here also benefit. That means we could organize the trainings via online communication systems, and we can continue the work, and maybe we have no more time for it. Exhibition publication changed as well. So we have to concentrate more on online content, and we have to be here sustainable. We need new contents, but not only once. We need regular new content. And public relation, revenue, marketing, yes. Yes or no? I don't know. With a home office, yes. I'm not sure. But change management, yes, we see here that we have to react faster. We have to work with shorter deadlines. And maybe you or later on, when you join our working groups, you would have other ideas, because maybe we should add an extra category to cover all the issues. So that was my presentations about the checklist working group. This is a work in progress, and please join us. And we are happy to continue the work with you on the checklist. And I would like to hand over the microphone to Jan. And I don't know how is now with time. We have maybe 10 more minutes, or no, we have a little bit more to discuss the whole session.
Exactly. Yes. Krisztián, thank you very much. I just wrote you a WhatsApp message and said, I'm so happy to hear you. It's a great presentation. Thank you so much. Could you switch off your screen?
Yes.